So how do you make sure that training and speaking actually makes a difference for people?
Oh, it's an excellent question. Most people assume that when you go to training, they come back and act bizarre for approximately 3 to 4 days. And they're not worried. They'll know they'll act bizarre for 3 to 4 days, but by the end of the week, they'll be back to normal, their same old habit patterns. I think the real challenge of training is getting people beyond evaluations, getting people beyond just taking notes and information, but focusing in on what are the keepers or the key things that they really want to take out, that they want to use. I was once asked by a participant who came up and said, "Gee, I'm really enjoying your program," and I was pulled by that. I said, "Well, good, you can stay." And he said, "Well, I want to ask you some questions." I said, "Certainly." He said, "Do you attend programs?" And I said, "Yeah, I go to programs myself, topic areas I present on." He says, "Do you take notes?" I says, "Yeah, I'm a compulsive note taker." He says, "What do you do with them?" Well, I filed them. Now I knew it was a test, but at least I was doing well on the test. And all of a sudden, the guy said, "Well, how many hours last week did you spend reviewing past training programs you attended?" And it was an unsettling question. And I looked at him, and of course I was honest. I said I had a very busy week. And all of a sudden he said, "Okay, I'll give you a month." And I became very painfully aware that that which I valued were piled away and I was not looking at. And I said, "Why are you putting me through this pain?" He said, "Well, I want to tell you what I do." I said, "You could have just told me you didn't put me through pain." But he went on and he said, "I keep keeper notes. Every time I go to a seminar, I limit myself to 1 page. And on that 1 page, I only write down key things I plan on doing something about. Much you get at a seminar, you know you're not going to do." He wouldn't write that down. He would only write a key phrase. Some of the things he already did already. He said, "Why write it down? I already do this. It's on autopilot." So he would only focus on the things that were important. Then he would take that page, put it in a notebook that he kept on his desk, and the only time he reviewed it was when he was on hold on the telephone. Every time he was on hold, he'd review the page. By the time the person was off, he'd reviewed an entire seminar. There was only one minor cost. You'd forget who you're talking to. It was a minor irritant. He would just say to the person, "I have no idea who you are, but let me tell you something very important." But he would go through all of his training material 5 times a year. I've taken that concept and I use it in my own work now. But in addition to doing that, I put them on tape. When I come to a conference, I'll tape my keepers. I'll put them on a tape. I put music every 10. Then I listen to that tape as I'm going through. And in fact, I think that's part of what we're trying to do with these small vignettes. We're trying to say to people, let's get bite-sized chunks of information that will help you review the things that really count. And I say to anybody who goes to a training seminar, when you come back, if you can't isolate 3 keepers out of what you've learned from an experience, you're blocking from that experience. Every leader, every person going to a seminar ought to be forced to come back and say, "Tell me the 3 keepers you picked up." Because we need to make sure that not only do we get happy face evaluations, but we get changes.